Welcome back, second graders. We're going to be doing a photography scavenger hunt for this module. And this time we're going to be working with Mrs. Samala and Mr. Wochuk for this module. So you'll be watching his video, Mr. Wochuk's video, and you'll be watching my video in order to put the two ideas together. And the reason is because photography is so much about technology and it is so much about art. It's about half and half. So learning how to use the technology tools and doing it in an artful way is what photography really is. The word photography actually means drawing with light. And the technology of photography is connected to science. It combines your eyes, light rays from the sun, and then chemistry, like over here in this lab, to be able to actually print out the photos. So there's so many different layers and parts to photography. Nowadays, most of us bring in our photos or send them in online, and then they get printed off by someone else. But when Mrs. Samala was in college, she would print out photos like this actually in a lab. This is the first surviving photo that was ever taken. So this is the first one that the world basically has left. It's almost 100 years old, and it's very grainy and hard to see what things are, but that's how photography actually started. So this is like a visual of the history of photography. So a long time ago, the camera obscura was invented, and all it could do was take pictures of still things. The world's first photograph is over here on our storyline, and that's the one that I just showed you. And it's very blurry and grainy, but it was incredibly exciting at the time. And actually, things couldn't move in photos when photos were first taken. That's why people look so grumpy. Their faces don't have smiles on them. It's because they had to take a long time for that photo to be taken, so smiling was hard. So just having a straight face was actually what was really popular at the time. And then we jump forward to right now, where we have camera phones, and they're very fast moving, they're very portable, you can take them anywhere you want to go. They're lightweight, and you can take photos of things that are moving. So photography has changed a lot in the last 100 years. So now that you've known a little bit about photography, let's think like an artist, because I'm going to introduce a big idea to you. It's called the rule of thirds. So I know lots of you have already taken a photograph before, of course. And usually when people take a photograph, they will put the main idea right in the center of the screen that you're taking the photo with. And the top and the bottom of the photo are divided in half. And that's actually just a real basic way of taking a photograph. And it's a little bit less interesting to look at most of the time. There's always exceptions, but most of the time. So if you still have your picture divided in half and you move your main idea over here, suddenly the piece becomes a little bit more exciting to our eyes and our brains. This is called the rule of thirds. If you move the horizon line or the main idea here up and the object is over, or if you move the horizon line down and the object is moved over, it's even more exciting. So let's break down the rule of thirds a little more. Here is a photo, and this is the main idea is kind of more towards the middle of the whole piece. The sky and the ground are pretty equal, so it's almost divided in half. And then this is what the rule of thirds looks like. In our imagination, if you put a grid over your camera screen, this is, there are 4 spots that are very exciting. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 spots. It's where these lines cross. So if I take my image or my screen and I divide it into 1, 2, 3 equal parts this way, and then I divide it into 1, 2, 3 equal parts this way, basically I've made a big tic-tac-toe board over my picture. These spots are called the hot spots. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's where the lines cross. Those are like our targets. So if you get something super exciting on a target, then that means that your artwork starts to look more interesting. This works in photography, painting, sometimes even sculpture, drawing. So rule of thirds is super powerful, and most artists know about it. So I'm introducing it in second grade. So instead of having your horizon line be in the center of your artwork, it's more exciting to move the horizon line up here or down here, and then take this object and put it on one of the hot spots, kind of like in this photo. So the artist took the first photo back here, and not using the rule of thirds, it's a fine photo. But once we do this and we have our horizon line across this line where our photograph is divided in thirds, and then we take our main idea and put it on a hotspot, that's a little bit more exciting. And this is how artists have been working for thousands of years, the rule of thirds. Here's another example. A beautiful scene, got this huge rock in the middle that's super interesting to look at, but it's right in the middle. If you move it over, suddenly in our brains, our eyes get a little bit more excited. Our imagination wanders over in this spot, and we imagine what more could be over there, and it's more exciting. Here's a picture that I took. So I just used a basic pine cone, and I liked the photo. Everything was down the center, but the object is right smack dab in the middle. So I moved it, and I showed the front of the box. So I have a line right over here. I moved this line more towards that line up here. And then I have the pine cone right on this hot spot, and I have this over on this hot spot. So it's a little bit more exciting for our eyes to look at again, kind of aiming towards this line, and then aiming towards our hot spots is way more exciting. So what you're going to do for the scavenger hunt is I want you to think like an artist. So here's our I can statements. I'd like you to think like an artist when you're taking a photo. So not just grabbing a camera and randomly going around your home or outside and snapping photographs. I want you to use the rule of thirds. I'm going to show you how to take photos in at least 8 different artful ways using whatever device you have. So if you have a phone or an iPad or a tablet, but I want you to go back and use the rule of thirds. And then the fourth thing that you can do is make sure to watch Mr. Wojcik's video so you can learn how to turn in your photos to Seesaw. Please turn them into Mr. Wojcik and I. They can be different if you want to too, if you want to practice more, but please turn them into both of us so he can see if you're doing the technology part of your art, and then if you're doing the art part of this as well. So the first thing I'd like you to do is take a photo of where your eyes are. That's walking around anywhere, just looking and observing and thinking, oh, that looks interesting, and take a photo of where your eyes are. The second one is taking a photo looking down. It's called a bird's eye view. So this is a much different view of a coffee cup than seeing the side of it or the fruit or your pet. And remember, taking pictures of things that are living and moving is more challenging because there is movement, but our cameras can handle it nowadays, not 100 years ago. You can take a photo from an ant's point of view, which would mean you're going to have to get down on the ground, or if you're on a table, you're going to have to get your camera close to the table. So from an ant's point of view, like if you were an ant crawling around on the ground, they're very, 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 very tiny and short, even shorter than Mrs. Samala. Then I'd like you to take a photo of a close-up, and then take the same object and take it far away. Now remember, these are just examples. So it could be anything. It doesn't have to be of a cat. It could be of an orange close-up, an orange far away. So you just decide what it is, but take a photo of close up and a far away of the same object. Then take a photo of an object at different angles. So I did far away, bird's eye view, close up, bird's eye view, on the side, close up. I shut off the lights and I did some shine on the table when there's light coming through, and a lot of our tables are shiny or our countertops are shiny. That can be kind of exciting in our artwork too. Take a photo of showing motion. Now, it doesn't have to be fast motion. All of these things would happen very quickly, and that's challenging. So it could be something just even moving slowly, like a feather falling or anything. I'll let you use your imagination. But show some motion. It's tricky. Take a photo showing texture. So a close-up of something that has anything that's repeated, fuzzy things, woven things, parts of wood. And then take a portrait or a self-portrait. Here's a great time to take a photo of a family member. All of these portraits are straight on. You don't have to have the person's face looking at you. It could be a profile, which is them looking away and you taking the side view of them. You can get creative. Take a portrait or a self-portrait, please. Once you're done with all of this, as a reminder, please watch Mr. Wojcik's video so you can use Pick Collage, choose your photos, and turn your photos into Seesaw. I am so excited to see you explore what you're going to be doing, friends. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy using your imagination, using art, and trying to learn about the rule of thirds. Thanks, friends. Bye.